Chronic fatigue? Chronic fatigue? No, I ain't never heard of that. Is that what that is? No. Ain't nobody in my family got none of that. Guarantee you what, we'd kick him in the tail until they got back to work. Guess I ought to get to this yard sometime today, you know, we can get to cut it sometime this afternoon. But I just don't think I'm gonna do that. Guess I'm gonna have to listen to that pretty doctor, that lady doctor. Who ever heard of a lady doctor anyway? Well, here, learn all about that fatigue thing. I guess I'll just listen to it. Go on, Val, let me hear all about it.
Do you have constant, ongoing fatigue? Is it so overwhelming it absolutely cripples you? Your relationships, your family, your job suffer, and the most devastating of all, this ongoing fatigue is stopping you from being who God's called you to be here on earth, stopping you from doing the things you love, preventing you from being a blessing, and putting you in a place of needing to be blessed. Well, unfortunately, you're not alone. I say unfortunately because the numbers are staggering. Crippling ongoing fatigue is in epidemic proportions. Too tired and too worn out to do almost anything. More sleep doesn't help, more pills don't help. You've tried exercise and done everything anyone has suggested. Is there no rest for the weary? Well, whether you've been diagnosed as chronic fatigue or you just know you're chronically fatigued, on today's show, I'm going to delve into the reason you might be so worn out and why your get up and go got up and went. Stay tuned, this show's for you.
Dadgummit, I don't know how that happened again. It's the third time this month I forgot to get the gate closed. You know, my wife, she's gonna be mad at me. Swanee, you know, for crying in a bucket, all close. I do the same thing every night. I drive the truck up here, pull in, feed the horses, take the trash, throw it in the ditch, come back out, close the gate. There's only two things I gotta do every night. Close the gate and something else, I don't remember. I see y'all there. I'm gonna head on to the house, get me something to eat, take it out.
Have you wondered why you feel the way you do? Is the feeling of constant exhaustion constantly ongoing, going to doctor after doctor with no answers and no cure? Let's talk about the symptoms of chronic fatigue syndrome. Aside from constant exhaustion, other symptoms typically occur. Swollen lymph nodes with CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome. A slight fever is a symptom for no apparent reasons. You're not sniffling, you don't have the flu, and you're running a fever. And then there's the recurrent sore throats and even laryngitis. It's all connected. The prolonged fatigue is the primary symptom of chronic fatigue syndrome, with little to no relief for months on end. Muscle pain and muscle weakness accompany CFS, and no matter how much bed rest, it just doesn't get better. And to top it all off, the majority of CFS patients experience anxiety. So you're tired and stressed and anxious. Yeah, that's pretty stressful, isn't it? Yeah. On top of that, you have no energy. Research shows impaired concentration ability can also occur as a result of CSS. Not two separate issues, it's all the same. Poor attention span goes hand in hand with all of these debilitating symptoms, and then depression can occur. And after hearing all of these symptoms, it's no wonder anyone living a life of chronic fatigue syndrome, whether it be mild or extreme, would be depressed. And unfortunately, I've heard folks say, They've been told it's all in their head. I'm here to tell you it's not in your head, but it will affect your head, your body, your spirit, and everything that concerns you and everyone around you. While the symptoms are not in your head, headaches do occur as a symptom with CFS. Then there's memory impairment, which can wreck relationships and a whole lot more. And one of the things you need and desire most is deep, restful sleep. Most chronic fatigue patients report they have severely disrupted and insufficient quantities of sleep. Some say they stay in bed all the time, but never, ever feel rested. The Bible says, hope deferred makes the heart grow sick. So most of all, I pray hope for you as I endeavor to shed light on a serious problem and hopefully bring you answers you can begin to implement today.
Oh, breakfast? Well, let me just stop right here and say I believe in eating a good breakfast before you get out and start doing work around the house. Well, you know, after you do your morning constitution and go in there. What I think's a good breakfast is a lot of pancakes. 3, 4, 5, 6 pancakes in the morning. Big Dr. Pepper. Then after breakfast, you gotta have a mid-morning snack. So about 10 o'clock, you know, I get in there and get me some of them oatmeal pies. You get them, and because you know oatmeal's good for you. I heard that on the radio. Oatmeal's real good for your heart and stuff. So some of the oatmeal pies with the cream filling, that's good stuff. Now, let's talk about lunch. I try to eat a well-rounded lunch. So first thing you start with is a milkshake. There's a typical day, one of them big giant milkshakes. Drink that while they're bringing you lunch to you. Eat you know, a good country fried steak and mashed potatoes. Well, I think, you know, usually because I'm working so hard, I usually can't take the time to, you know, eat necessarily, you know, sit down dinner. So I usually pull the truck up over, get me some of them fast food burgers. You got your burger, you got your bun, you got like, and you got your Dr. Pepper. I mean, that's 3 of the food groups right there. It's a big old giant French fries. You know, and just use the salt sparingly. You know, I usually dump like 2 or 3 of them little packets in there and eat that with a big milkshake. And you know, it's pretty good, you know. And of course, you gotta finish that off with some dessert as a little treat. You know, so I usually try to eat another one of them oatmeal pies, Little Debbie's, you know, because they got oatmeal in them. You remember what I said about that? And that's dinner.
I tell you all the time, where there's fruit, there's a root. So if you have any or all of the symptoms I've just shared with you, listen up so we can do some digging. Let's stop mowing the grass and let's start pulling weeds. And here are some of the weeds associated with chronic fatigue syndrome. CFS patients are generally found to have elevated homocysteine levels, suggesting that elevated homocysteine could be a possible underlying cause of CFS. And I hear the wheels turning and you're saying, what in the world is homocysteine? Homocysteine is a toxic, endogenous sulfhydryl containing amino acid, and homocysteine is not just toxic, it is indeed deadly. 30% of the elderly have elevated homocysteine levels. 29% of vegetarians have elevated homocysteine levels, and this occurs from the relative lack of methionine and vitamin B12 in the diets of vegetarians. Toxic effects of excess homocysteine elevated levels are associated with everything from chronic fatigue syndrome and heart disease to premature aging, and it's nothing to mess around with. Homocysteine levels can be brought down with the same wonderful nutrients that assist in chronic fatigue. You know, that right there ought to tell us something. Okay, we get the elevated homocysteine, we get the chronic fatigue, and it happens to be the same nutrients, the same substances, and the same lifestyle that brings it down. Yeah, there's a clue. Some researchers have noted that damage caused by free radicals is a common thread in CFS. It has been proposed that in CFS patients, excessive generation of free radical damages the mitochondria and cell membranes of cells throughout the body. So what am I talking about? What am I saying? Don't do the things that release too many free radicals, like alcohol, which potentially stimulates the production of free radicals. And then one most people love, too many carbs and simple sugars, which absolutely stimulate the production of free radicals. Processed foods, chemically laden foods, and then unfortunately even too much sun. We need sun, but like we don't want to like turn into a piece of leather and have all these reactions going on in the body. Now, let's go on to what else could be a root of your exhaustion, your chronic fatigue syndrome. I tell you what, low thyroid, which is getting more and more and more and more common every single day. If you have any of the symptoms of low thyroid, go get help. And if your doctor won't listen, find a new doctor. According to Dr. Privatera, a California MD who studied the thyroid and blood work for years, says the blood work for thyroid to check to see if it's low functioning is the least accurate blood work done in our country. So don't sweep it under the rug. Find somebody who's going to listen. You know, there's nothing wrong with getting a second opinion. If you have symptoms of low thyroid, and you can find those on the web, on my site, all over the place, if you've got those symptoms, you need to take action and do something about it. Suppression of the immune system has been proposed as an underlying theory of CFS. Also, cytomegalovirus infection has been speculated to be another cause of CFS. And then most commonly is Epstein-Barr virus infection, which is also a root cause of CFS. Most CFS patients have previously been affected by glandular fever, which itself is caused by the Epstein-Barr virus. And Epstein-Barr virus is opportunistic. So who knows? It's like the chicken or the egg. Which came first? They go hand in hand. It's been also said that an underlying cause of chronic fatigue syndrome may be impairment or exhaustion of the adrenal glands, adrenal insufficiency. So the adrenal glands in CFS patients are, on average, get this, only 50% of the size of a normal, healthy person. So what can cause adrenal insufficiency? Well, I gotta tell you, it's one of the same things that can cause elevated homocysteine levels. You ready? This is something I kind of know something about. Excessive stress. Anybody got any stress in their life? Yeah. Much research points to excessive stress as being one of the major root causes of CFS. And last but not least is severe toxicity. Some of you are full of it, and I'm referring to what you think I'm referring to. Yeah, your body may have become a toxic waste dump. And when I come back, I'm gonna tell you how to do a house cleaning on your temple and the nutrients shown to be effective in the relief of chronic fatigue. So get ready. Hopefully for you today, relief is on the way. So how do you spell relief? I spell it C-L-E-A-N-S-E. And in case your spelling skills aren't real good, that spells cleanse. And every road to health starts with a clean slate. And this cleanse, I'm about to tell you about it, is one that is proven to be effective. Got to tell you about a good friend of mine from many moons ago. Her name was Cheryl. She had chronic fatigue syndrome so severely that she spent her days, literally every day for years, on a couch. Her evenings, she would wait till her husband got home from work. He'd take over the kid thing, and then she'd go to bed. No, that's not the way it's supposed to be. Let me tell you, one of the first things that I suggested to her was the cleanse, a vitamin C flush to bowel tolerance. You do it with a vitamin C, the crystallized vitamin C, mix it in juice, and you do this until the bowels start flushing. Typically, it's about 25,000 to 30,000 milligrams a day. You spread it throughout the day. You do it 3 days in a row. Within 2 weeks, she looked and felt like a different person, and her husband became an instant believer in natural remedies as a viable source of healing. I remember he actually came to me and said, "Thanks for giving my wife back." You know, I mean, his wife then had a life. Oh, yeah, how much better is that? So you do the cleanse. What do you do next? The pipes are cleaned out, so it's time to start giving your body those vital nutrients needed for healing. You know what? Remember, gotta always remember, the body knows what to do when you give it the right tools. I don't care how good of a mechanic somebody might be. You know, they might have had all kinds of awards. Hey, that guy's the best mechanic in the world. I guarantee he's got tools. If your body doesn't have tools, it's not going to heal properly. Now, let's talk about the very first thing that might be in that toolbox. DHEA. It increases energy levels in CFS patients, and actually for all of us. It's something I take all the time. It is one of the things that actually reduces neuropsychiatric symptoms associated. So the stuff goes on in the head, the depression, just the various issues that are going on in the mind for these people. That's one of the things that's going to help. But I got to tell you, it helps me for all kinds of other stuff, and I don't have CFS, but I will tell you, I take it every single day. Now here's an interesting fact. Studies show that CFS patients generally have low DHEA levels, and it's been suggested that low levels may be one of the root causes. Studies reveal that a woman typically needs 25 milligrams and a man requires 50 milligrams per day. And as I said, this is something I do every day of my life. What's number 2? Lipoic acid, which increases energy levels in some CFS patients, presumably because of the antioxidant effect. So if you have a situation where you've been around a lot of, have a lot of free radicals, you're being exposed to a lot of carcinogens, and this is one of the issues, then alpha lipoic acid is going to be something you want to take because of the antioxidant effects. It will absolutely help you and give you more energy. Okay, let's show what's next. Let's talk about it. Let's go on. We want to keep this toolbox full of the nutrients that are going to help you so your body can heal because it knows what to do. Olive leaf extract, which isn't just good for chronic fatigue. I got to tell you, olive leaf I've known about for years and years and years and years. It's used for everything from high blood pressure to chronic fatigue. Antiviral. So if the root cause of one of your situations is that you have an underlying virus situation, and we know that all of these, so many times somebody will be diagnosed with one thing, Epstein-Barr, chronic fatigue, they all go hand in hand. So olive leaf is one of the things that's antiviral, antifungal, that's going to help you in that process. Okay, what's another tool you better have in your toolbox? Well, here it is, adrenal extract. Why? Because I told you, stress, stress, stress. It's a killer. Stress is a killer. And if the issue, your underlying issue, the root cause of your chronic fatigue is stress, well, you know what? Then most of the time the adrenals are taxed, they're maxed, and by giving yourself adrenal glandular extracts, and you can do like little drops in a glass of water, boy, you would be shocked and amazed at what you might see in a very short period of time. What's next? Magnesium. Yeah, one of my best friends, 1,000 milligrams a day. That's what the clinical study says. England, a study that was done in England, confirmed that 50% of chronic fatigue syndrome patients who received magnesium reported increased energy. Most CFS patients have been found to be low in magnesium, and it's good for basically everything. Another clinical trial showed that by getting injections as well as hopefully taking it orally if you've got the good breakdown, 80% of CFS patients were benefited and just received magnificent results, more energy. Hey, I take it all the time, can you tell? Because people always tell me I have a lot of energy. Can you tell I take magnesium every day? Hey, you know what? It just works. It's good for all kinds of stuff. And what else? I got to tell you, whey protein. Whey protein, you're pregnant, whey protein. Some of you are going, oh yeah, I do that. Well, where do you get it? Whey protein. I do it like every day in my kitchen, in my blender, and make a great smoothie. But why? Lactoferrin is in whey protein, and it's been shown to be one of the most awesome things because once again, lactoferrin, it boosts the immune. It helps your body. It's a tool. Helps your body do what your body is absolutely 100% capable of. Now, I've just given you a little bit for your toolbox. You know, sometimes you got to go to the store and get everything, but you know what? You can do it. These are some of the tools you need that have been proven to be effective. Clinical trials, not Dr. Val says. This is clinical studies for chronic fatigue syndrome, or if you're just chronically fatigued and you want more energy. Yep, it's up to you. You're gonna pick up the toolbox, you're gonna do something about it. You need to get out of what you're doing, do something different.
Man, that's some kind of toolbox, ain't it? That lady doctor, Dr. Valerie, I tell you what, I have tools, had tools all my life, but I ain't never had them kind of tools in my toolbox. Tell you what, you know, my wife with Louise, she's in there talking to me tonight about it, saying I was in denial. I don't know what she means, but I ain't in no denial, but I am kind of tired a lot, you know. I think that Dr. Valerie, I think y'all listen to her, start doing some of the stuff she's doing. I think I am, but I'm gonna start right after I go up there, take me a nap. Anyway, listen, I'm Cletus Van Horn. Do what the doctor says, and that's the way I see it.
If you have chronic fatigue, or if you're just chronically fatigued, get your toolbox to work on your vehicle. Do something about it. Don't settle for second best. You know what? You need to give us a call. You need to go to the website. Get the tools that your body needs because it already knows what to do, so you need to get the tools. You need to get some of these, just like my favorites, as I said, you need to get them for your toolbox. Give them to your body so your body has something to work with. If you're still in the same situation and you've been there for a long time, obviously nothing's changed, then you know what, you're not doing something right. Because God's best is not for you to stay there, but God's best is for you to move on down the road. So call now, go to the website, get the tools you need so you're not chronically fatigued anymore and you got the energy to do what you want to do.
What?
I said I want my yard mowed and I want it done today, Cletus.
All right, I'll get on it.
You've been saying you're gonna get on it all day, Cletus. You said it yesterday, you said it today, and all you do is sit around there on your lazy rear and my yard's not mowed, Cletus.
I'll get on it, Louise. Don't worry about it none.
I want it done, Cletus, and I want it done.
All right, dadgummit.
Hey, thanks for watching me, Valerie Saxon, on Alternative Health. Do you think I got up in this tree with chronic fatigue? No, I'm not chronically fatigued because I do the things I'm talking to you about today. Take action. You need to do something different. You don't need to be tired anymore. You need to have the energy that you need when you need it. Make changes. Go to the website. Get the notes from today. Get the tools. Get the stuff you need so your vehicle can run the race that's set before you, not pooping out before you get there. You can do it. You got the right fuel in the tank. You got the right tools. It'll happen for you. I've seen it happen to others. It just works, but you gotta take the action, so do it now.
Thanks for watching Alternative Health with Valerie Saxon. For more information about Valerie's books, tapes, and supplements, log on to our website at valeriesaxon.com. And remember, You can get your own daily dose of Valerie by clicking on subscriptions and signing up for a free Daily Tips for Healthy Living email newsletter. It's filled with the latest health news, beneficial herbs and supplements, and natural ways to alleviate a variety of health conditions. Don't have a computer? Then call our friendly, knowledgeable staff at 1-800-493-1146.